Hi! On the Woodpecker today, as Christmas gifts last year, I made some piggy banks. For several years, I've been given wooden padlocks as Christmas gifts. But the last 2 years, my gift was not even assembled. So I'm hoping that a piggy bank will be more appealing. The design was made completely in Aspire. Here's the final result. I had to make several prototypes before getting to this one. This is the CNC that is cutting the first opening mechanism. I have to use 2 different bit sizes and have 2 tool changes for each mechanism. To make a combination bank, I also need rings. This is the ring design. To test this, I have to cut at least one. Now I have enough pieces to try my first prototype. I just need to prepare it. As you can see, it's a prototype because the pieces are not at the same place as the design I showed before. Right after freeing the parts, I see that it's not right. I make some changes and cut another test. This time, to have a better test, I make a bunch of rings. Each one needs a lot of hand sanding. But now I can assemble a mechanism. But I'm missing the locking pin to lock the door. So after making a jig to hold the pin in place, I can cut one. Next, I can insert the small pins in place. The big ring on the locking pin and the knob to move the locking pin. Here it is, a fully functional lock. But to get there, I had several failures, as you can see. To test my door, I need a box. Here it is. The only thing left to do is to laser cut it. I begin by cutting some pieces of 3mm thick plywood. The laser makes a super fine cut. This is nice with such a small finger joint. I cut the first box in 3 sections. It was easier this way to keep a smaller piece of plywood flat. When it's cut, I'm able to assemble the first bank. Nice! I have 1 piggy bank, but I want several more. So I cut a bunch of rings. While the CNC is cutting more rings, I can take care of what's already cut. This is not too bad, but I also need to burn the numbers on all of them. For this, I use the 4th axis I've built. I'm pretty sure I will have enough for now. But before going into full production mode, I need to assemble another piggy bank to see if all the parts are okay. And yes, everything is perfect. I'm now ready to cut several doors and locking mechanisms. Then I sand them. Put them back on the CNC and burn my logo on them. I also need the boxes. I begin by cutting the first one near the table. It works well for the first one, as you can see. But on the second one, I had a little mess up. I'm losing a day fixing the CNC before I can continue cutting the boxes. This time around, I made a jig to lift the plywood from the table. I also put a sheet of aluminum foil on the table. This way, I avoid another fire. Cutting a box, even with a 10-watt laser, takes 48 minutes. But I'm still missing the locking pins. At least, this doesn't take a long time. I'm almost ready. I only need to cut the plaques in two. Here are all the piggy banks I've made. These two are for the members of my family.
Peut-être pas un cadenas, je peux pas le dire que c'est ça. Ça me semble comme...
Ça, je pense que c'est un petit relais.
Ah, tu veux comment qu'il est?
Ah, ben
Hein? Vous allez deviner ensuite, ouais.
I wish I could say that now they have to go from this to this. But it's just like the last two padlocks. They were not even assembled. I guess it's only me who finds wooden piggy banks cool. But if you're like me and find this super interesting, well, you saw me making a bunch of extra banks. So send me an email if you're interested. This was the wooden piggy bank I made last Christmas. This is the first video of last year's Christmas presents I made. If you want to see the other ones, you'll have to come back to the Woodpecker.